Hi Hatsu, it's been a long time I haven't heard from you. How are you?
Hi. Well, the atmosphere is not very good here. What about you?
Not well too. I have heard about all the unfounded racism of citizens toward your community. It's really shocking and disappointing how people can be ignorant.
As you surely know, I'm the granddaughter of immigrants from Japan who went to America going to a strange new world, seeking new opportunities. My mother and father both were born in LA, where they met and get married, and I was born here in San Pedro. When Pearl Harbor was bombed on American soil by Japan, overnight the world was plunged into a world war. America suddenly was swept up by hysteria. Japanese American community, American citizens of Japanese ancestry were looked on with suspicion and fear and with outright hatred simply because we happened to look like the American that bombed Pearl Harbor. I will never be able to forget that scene. It's burned into my memory, as if we were criminals and we were no longer welcome on the American soil.
You would become the targets of the citizens of the neighborhood who would want to avenge the soldiers who had died in Pearl Harbor, but this doesn't explain the reaction.
The scapegoating of minorities because of our ethnicity is one of the most insidious degradations of democracy. Because to deny the civil liberties of any specific group, even in the name of national security, is to take the first step toward curtailing the civil liberties of all. It is a testament to the resiliency of the American political system. When Pearl Harbor was bombed, young Japanese Americans, like all young Americans, rushed to their draft board to volunteer, to fight for our country. That act of patriotism was not taken into consideration by the American citizens, and we were answered by a slap in the face, and we were categorized as enemy, non-alien. It leaves us speechless. When you put your body and soul into war and fight for your country, but it was compensated with the word non-alien, which means a negative citizen, and either the label of citizen was took from us. And you, how do you feel?
As if my brother is dead.
What? You're talking about Eric, your brother?
Yes, my brother.
All my condolences. He was such a nice person. But what happened? He was in a good shape. Was he sick?
I'm going through a very difficult, very sensitive and very sad time because of Jack, my boyfriend that you met last summer, was interrogated by the FBI because he was suspicious of his affiliation with the communists. It is because of him that I lost my brother, and to save himself from the FBI, and the only alternative was to denounce the accomplices in the conspiracy, so he gave them the name of my loving brother. This is why I am indignant. I despise my love Jack and I am contemptuous about what he did. It is a shame. I didn't understand the behavior of Jack. I never saw a person like him. A person who doesn't stop lying. And most shocking, he sold my brother to the FBI to avoid prison and gain freedom. Yes, it's too shocking. I know that everyone could choose, and Jack should have refused to give them names instead of being a coward and a pigeon stole for the feds.
But they were friends.
He was selfish and he thought only of himself what my brother's life cost. But I don't know why he did this. I'm very angry about his acts, upset and saddened. I want him to realize his responsibility and the seriousness of his actions. I feel like my brother shouldn't have been sacrificed for cowardice, which is why I despise him for his cowardice. I lost my brother because of him. If Jack was ever aware of what he was doing, everything will be fine and we're going to lose no one, but he did something stupid. But why did he denounce my brother? He could have denounced all the other people except Eric. And if my brother was in his situation, I'm sure he won't act like that. But then what did Jack gain? His freedom? No, I'm sorry, but he lost the confidence of all his friends. He lost a friend and a brother. I know this is horrible, but I'm going to do my best to regain the freedom and the meaning of life of my love that were stolen by Jack and the FBI.
After the attack, the hysteria grew and grew until 1942, when President Roosevelt ordered all Japanese Americans to be rounded up. With no charges, with no trial, with no due process, we were to be rounded up and imprisoned in 10 barbed wire prison camps in some of the most desolate places in America. The astounding thing is that thousands of men and women again went from behind the prison, put on the same uniform as that of our guards, with the same volunteerism and enthusiasm, not to save their families from the camps, but to protect their country, this country which turned its back and took them for enemies in front of the first threat.
Here also everything is going wrong with the war, but I'm slowly recovering from my brother's loss. The country continues to hunt conspirators.